going to start this introduction with something more pleasing than my face, which is not a hard thing to surpass, but in this case, it's easily done by a rock, which I'm going to hold up now so you can get a bit of a look at it before I talk about it a bit more. Now, in the article, you'll get to look at this in more detail, and I've done a diagram so you can look at it and look at the angles and the lines. But what's interesting about this rock is a wonderful human being bought this rock on the open market for an incredible amount of money and has given it to us. Despite my protest, he insisted on giving this rock to us. And the reason he did so is because it was found in the 1860s in the middle of Australia, and it was surrounded by a group, I've seen them, of incredibly important sacred objects that are wooden and were carved. And they're carved quite nicely too. Same way this one was carved, but this one's done in basically triangles and pyramids. And we counted about 78 of them. And it's full of geometry, pure geometry, parallel lines, series of 7 and 8 lines all parallel to one another, cut into an incredibly hard rock where the surface wasn't smooth. Now there's 2 points there where they smooth the rock out to put in a print, a symbol for male and female, an original symbol for male and female, but the rest is rough. And even though it is that rough, what's taking place is, and I'm going to move this rock away because it's affecting things. I was worried it would. I'm going to have to move it because I can see what it's doing. Every time I hold a rock and do a talk here, we have a problem. Okay, now I've moved the rock, I think you'll find the visuals will work better. It was found in the 1860s. I've written in the article and proved why it is not a fake. What I want to share with you is one fascinating piece of geometry that goes with this rock. Now there's a triangle on the top. The triangle is perfectly formed. It is 6.5 by 6.5 by 9.6. And because it's a perfect triangle, the height is half the width and is 4.8. Now what's interesting, ladies and gentlemen, which is a ratio of 1 to 2, but the whole length of this geometric shape is 19.2, and 19.2 is 9.6 doubled, and it's 4.8 times 4. So within this collection of marks and shapes here, I've got a ratio that runs through the whole thing of 1 to 2 to 4. Now my question is, can you find another rock in Australia where we have that degree of geometry and that exactitude? Found in the middle of Australia in the 1860s, it's been said it was done by someone who faked it. And they faked it and made it and put it there. Well, if it's a fake, fakes are always copies of originals. Find the original for me. And secondly, if it is a fake in the 1860s, when people who moved to the middle of Australia were flat out staying alive and didn't have the luxury of playing around like this, when they finished it, they put it inside an original cave, found some other original objects and left it. Didn't get a cent for it. Didn't get found for quite some time. And the person who found it just picked it up and took it away. Didn't leave some money behind and say, thanks, mate, for that lovely piece of work. Didn't happen like that. It is original. And it asks the question, there is no stick, bone, or stone technology that could do this. In fact, to be honest, if you had a hardened blade, you couldn't do it with a chisel because it's too consistent a cut and it's too even a cut. I don't know how you cut those lines of what we got today. You go to the hardware store and find something to cut that. And ladies and gentlemen, just to finish this off, one other thing you need to understand about this unusual rock, the gentleman who gave it to me made it very clear. He had worked in the mines and other people looked at this rock too. And they couldn't understand why there are literally thousands upon thousands of gold specks found throughout the whole of this rock. Doesn't make sense. The same way it looks sedimentary, but when I've held many sedimentary rocks, but when you pick this up, it's 3 times heavier than any other sedimentary rock I've ever picked up of that shape and mass. It is too heavy, but it is sedimentary. It's full of gold specks, thousands of them. And then on top, it's got a series of engravings and cuts that I can't understand how they were done today, let alone thousands and thousands of years ago. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you understand the real history of Australia and the real original history of Australia, we do know there were earlier civilizations here, and they did employ advanced technology, and they threw it away. That's what this is part of. So another piece of the puzzle's up. Have a look at the article. We've put up a diagram of it and some explanations, and it gives you more details about what's taking place. But it's another point of an incredibly evolved history that's going all over the place. And I've seen that with the skulls, and I've got another article on rocks coming up, and then the skulls have got more to follow further down the piece, and that's developing into places I never expected. A couple of weeks from now, I hope to show you a fully completed, reconstructed, no forehead being, and it looks nothing like anything I would have even guessed at. But that's on the way. But for now, that rock, it's complete, it's done, and it's got a story to tell. But I wonder if there's anyone on this planet smart enough to read it.